Call me cynical, but I doubt it's pure coincidence that Genshin's monster taming and tournament battling event came right before the release of Pokémon Scarlet and Violet. From the timing of the event's release, to the monster catching and battling, to the themes of coexistence and companionship, and the cinematic trainer battle scenes, it's abundantly clear that the event was trying to emulate Pokémon. But Pokémon is one of the most successful video game franchises of all time, so those are big shoes to fill. So, was Genshin actually able to succeed? Let's take a look. The event's story revolves around what's essentially just a big Pokémon battle tournament. A researcher invents a device that allows humans to tame and command fungi, elemental monsters that have historically been perceived as dangerous creatures that should be avoided. Sound familiar yet? Except, instead of Pokeballs, the new invention that's used to control the fungi is called a Wisdom Orb. After giving out Wisdom Orbs to allow tournament participants to capture and befriend the fungi, the tournament host, a mysterious rich benefactor, announces that the grand prize for winning the fungi battle tournament is $60 million. The problem, though, is that fungi are typically considered dangerous monsters that attack humans. Since fungi wield elemental powers and many of them are naturally aggressive, it'd be disastrous if the Wisdom Orb's design wasn't completely foolproof. Our main protagonist, hero that they are, takes the risk upon themselves to enter the tournament and use this dangerous brand new untested technology, to confirm that it's safe for the masses, of course. For the money. Without going into too much detail to avoid spoilers, the story impressed me. The story's pacing was solid, and plot points were gradually revealed in a way that was satisfying. The differing ideologies between whether fungi were dangerous monsters or potential friends was shown in a nuanced way. As a lifelong Pokemon fan, this discussion especially interested me because Pokemon typically doesn't go too deep into the potential dangers of monster taming. But in a setting where monster taming isn't already an established part of society, of course there might be people who are opposed to trying to befriend super powerful monsters that can easily kill you. So it was a cool spin on things. Furthermore, characters behave naturally given their own backgrounds, goals, and what information they had, and the dialogue between characters involved a lot of different interesting topics. All the story cutscenes were fully voice acted too, and there were some genuinely touching moments. While there were some minor flaws, as a whole the story was very well executed. I was pleasantly surprised because it was much better than what I initially expected. The event's gameplay consisted of catching fungi in the wild, upgrading your fungi through a fun little puzzle minigame, and then battling your newfound companions against enemies or other fungi trainers in the main storyline's tournament. The monster battling system they created was surprisingly deep. It's an entirely new combat system that operates differently from how combat in Genshin normally works. Like Pokemon, as the trainer you don't battle yourself. Instead, you choose 4 fungi to call upon in battle, and then command them in real time, simultaneously. You have a lot of options to consider when choosing which fungi will form your team. The fungi each have varying elemental powers, classes like healers, buffers, and attackers, and unique movesets. One of the smartest design decisions they made with the new combat system was allowing the player to target specific enemies with the fungi at will. Battles would have felt significantly less engaging without this design choice. But the simple addition of allowing the player to dynamically and freely control which enemy your fungi targets adds a lot of depth. It allows the player to control where each of your 4 fungi's abilities are placed, control aggro from enemies on defense when defending monoliths, and focus firepower on particularly strong enemies. Details like that in the gameplay design made it clear that a lot of thought and care was put into this event's development. Like how applying certain elements to the fungi affected how catching worked, or how each of the fungi puzzle upgrading minigames had varying combinations of puzzle mechanics to keep things interesting. The gameplay in this event was consistently fun and well thought out. Since Genshin's release in 2020, events have come a long way from what they once were at the beginning. The very first events were unpolished, even laughably buggy, but you have to start somewhere, and over time, Genshin's events have continually improved, putting its gacha whale-earned money to good use, and reinvesting those resources back into the game's development. In stark contrast to Genshin's very first events, this Pokemon Tournament Arc event was ridiculously polished. Even as a day one player since Genshin first released over 2 years ago, this event is easily one of my favorite ones yet. If upcoming Genshin events in the future will consistently be at this level of quality, players should have a lot to be excited for. If you liked the video, consider subscribing. Either way, thanks for watching and take care.